This was a place I could have gone in about 10 different directions. I've got a bunch of things I can start working on next, but I decided I was going to go to the Voxson Dinghy, and then maybe after this I might start working on the Walkmans again. I still might be able to work on my Radiola 26. But in any event, I wanted to bring this up. I've redone the leather on the outer covering. It was just nasty grayish in color, so I used the leather conditioner and cleaner from Chemical Guys, and as you can see, looks pretty damn nice. So first thing I'm going to do, take it out of its little leather container, start taking it apart, and we're going to take a look and see what a Voxson Dinghy looks like. Okay, I've removed the plastic tabs over the little divots that are inside, and because of that, out she comes. Now this is a dummy, well actually no, this is a working replica 457 I made. I'm going to make it in probably either Super Pila, or Voxson actually had a battery with its own cover. Somebody kindly gave me. So I have to finish it up. And in the meantime, let me go on ahead and pull this out. And I can tell you right now, I'm going to have to do it with two hands because it's too tight. I am probably going to have to shrink that, make another 457, which is just a tad smaller because it's too tight for comfort. What it's going to take, by the looks of it, well, that's a good question. Ah, there's one right there. Little tiny screw. That one's going to have to come off, and there's probably a few others surrounding here that I'm not seeing. They're well hidden. Yep, there's one right down there. A few other places, so I'm going to go on ahead and knock those out, and we'll continue with the disassembly. Now, as I noticed, there were a couple of screws that I also need to remove, and there has been some damage way over in this corner here. One of those towers is broken off, but I've also come across another bottleneck. But before I do say anything, another thing you have to do in order to get this apart, there's a changeover switch here. One side's AC, the other side's battery. That's right here. It's controlled by this little lever. And as you notice, it's riveted, so this is not going to come off. Yes, my nails are long. Fuck me. So anyway, you have to push that in well into the cabinet in order to get this off. But now I've come across another bottleneck. You have this stick antenna. Now originally there was a cotter pin. I thought, okay, well that's probably what's holding the whole shebang in, but now that I'm looking at it, no, it is not holding it in. So I was thinking this whole thing would slide out. That's not the case. So it comes to this little doojimaflobby, which is the part that you actually grasp to pull the antenna. It is larger than the hole that's in here. And the damn thing won't come off. I've tried holders, I've tried jar openers, I've tried just about everything. I cannot get the thing loose. So I'm going to try a few more things, see if I can work this thing out. Finally, twist, 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 twist. I had to use a couple of pliers to get that thing off. I don't know, it looks like it was force fit. I don't see any threads on either one of those, but I finally got the thing off. And so now, with that, the chassis is free. Okay, and here's the inside part of the chassis. I'll need to, there's one other thing you have to do. You have to push all these buttons in order to get the chassis freed. But now we've got a full view of what's going on. So here's the volume control. It actually does have a stop on it. And it does have a switch. So as much as I thought this was broken, it's not. So I'll have to take a look and make sure everything's functioning here. Then here's our tuning. It's slippery. Well, it actually looks like it's working. Well, yeah, it's going to need some work. Looks like this thing's a little loose. And indeed it is. That needs to be tightened up. probably would not hurt to redo the dial string. I can't hardly speak today. Other than that, looks pretty straightforward. Underneath is our changeover switch. I don't know if those are capacitors. Those look like resistors. That's definitely a capacitor. This is part of the changeover. Probably could be given a good cleaning. Now, let's switch over. And now we get a better view of everything. Here's the changeover, the actually band switch. And the nice thing about it is, oh, one thing, whenever working on a radio, close the tuning capacitor. You don't want anything screwed up with that. It has this little lever. If you push that, band switch now becomes free. Handy little thing. Here's your loop stick antenna, a few other capacitors. Here's our on and off switch and volume control. Look over here. A little bit of corrosion on the A battery. Not bad. A little bit of cork this time instead of foam here. And of course the B battery compartment. Here is the AC AC plug, which I'll show you later. I've got the converter. And look at all these beautiful capacitors. They're FACON, I guess, FACON capacitors. Made in Italy. I'm going to see about trying to re-stuff these, because I just think they're gorgeous. This is a French tube. Vox. A couple of these are more modern. I see an RCA in here. These are the IF cans. I like the side tuners. How you adjust. Then these must be the lytics that are involved. Strange arrangement here. I'll have to see about if I can open those up and restuff those. Other than that, looks pretty good. So, I think the first thing I'm going to do is work on the tuning, because that's going to be kind of important. Just kind of. It is going to be important. Interesting design for the pointer, and I was looking for the spring to do the tension. Well, you lift the pointer off this spindle, and there it is. It's under here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean all this up over here, clean all this so everything moves nice and smoothly. And then you also, over here, upon lifting the tuning control, find this other pulley. And if you've noticed, it's broken. It's shattered. Somebody has re-epoxied it. And then it fits. Well, now it's supposed to fit where the two flats meet. Again, I'm going to have to clean this so everything matches just right. It goes on there. And then your tuning wheel just force fits into place. And yes, if you look at it very carefully, you can watch. It's, come on camera, it's a vernier system, planetary, so all that's going to have to be cleaned up, make it nice and smooth also. I figure as old as that cord is, might as well just get rid of it, make a brand new one. Clean all this up, make this look nice. Alright, this middle pulley is cleaned up. It's a little loose, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to run, but it had a bunch of wax or material that was keeping it from moving freely. It's now working. And then you have this pointer, which is force fit onto the pulley. I went to try to spread it open or tighten it down a little bit is actually what I needed to do, and it folded up like a cheap card table on me, which, oh, that pissed me off. That's why it looks so rough. But I went ahead and bent it back into shape. Pull that off. Now what's going to happen here is the spring goes in here, and then the stringing goes along these pulleys. I'm probably going to wait off on that until I get these capacitors replaced. Okay, went ahead and cleaned the knobs. Volume control's in place. Looks real nice now. The red line goes in the proper place where it's supposed to. Excuse me. Chili's talking back to me. And on this side, I went ahead and cleaned both the spindle and the knob. And as you can see, planetary drive's working. I went ahead and got a good lube to it. Everything's pretty much ready. So now I'm going to start working on these two capacitors, replacing them, and then, short of polishing these knobs up, I'm going to go ahead and restring the front of the radio. We should get a gut feeling. Said to change my mind before I start changing capacitors. Take a look at this A battery holder. I went ahead and cleaned it all up on this side and cleaned it up on this side. Now this is going to show how batteries have changed over the years. If you notice, you've got this center terminal, and you got these two terminals here. These two are not really terminals, they're rivets that hold this whole thing together, and it's on ground, which then goes to here. Well, now there's a problem. If I were to put this battery in, it's going to make contact here, which is what I want it to do, but it's also going to make contact on those two ends, and that's going to short the whole thing. I can't have that. So, what I'm thinking about doing is either putting insulation on here or just insulating the battery, one of the two. I got to see first if this is going to cause a true short circuit, because I'm now starting to look, and this really doesn't have a ground over here. This isn't grounded, if you notice here on the back. This is the back terminal. It's not grounded here. So let me give this a shot. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this into a dark room, switch it on, see if the lights light up, and then if the battery starts getting warm, then I know we got a problem. Well, I got a game changer. Looks like I tried putting a battery in here, took it in a dark room to see if the filaments lit. Nothing. So now the next thing I need to do is to take a look by way of this switch, see if anything's happening. So I turn it on. Nothing. And let me make sure. I think it's like this. Nothing. The switch doesn't even feel right. It should have a nice, with these type of switches, there should be a solid click, and there isn't anything. Yeah, it's dead as a doorknob. So, before I can now we got a hierarchy, where I was going to start to recap and get all this started and restring the dial. Everything is going to swing on this. If I can't fix this, it's a game ender until I get new parts, because this particular switch and control are very unique. So let me see if I can fish that out and see what I can come up with. This is where working on old radios is less fun. Like the yin and yang, you gotta take the bitter with the sweet. I've got the control taken apart. This is our potentiometer. I've cleaned it up, scrubbed it down with some Windex, very careful not to really do anything on this side. In fact, you might notice over here, no carbon, and then there's carbon here, so I'm imagining this is the low end of it. This is the little Hoagie Beimler, as not a word that I've taken from old Shango. I happen to like that. It's the gadget that then hooks up to here. This is a switch. I have never seen a switch like this before. And you've got these two arms that attaches to here, and as you switch it over. That's off. You see the two contacts, the other one's under here. And then when you turn it on, click, it's on. It was all binded up, so there's another great word. I have lost my college education. That there thing is all binded up. You know, I'm telling you what, I'll tell you, I'm becoming uneducated. Then this is an insulating strip. Looks like it's not Bakelite impregnated. It's not, I can't even talk. It's not Bakelite, linen impregnated Bakelite. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's say that again. Linen impregnated Bakelite. But it's like a insulator of some kind. So I'm going to go ahead and give this another squirt of some tuner cleaner. And then I'm going to go ahead and try the meter and make sure that this is going to work properly. Okay, I've got the meter hooked up to the switch, and I'm going to take the little actuator here and turn it, and we'll see what happens on one end. Continuity, that was working. Now we're going to switch it over to the other side. Make sure that it's working properly. Turn the bat handle. Continuity on this side. So I imagine these two gadgets here are going to need adjusting. And just make sure that's all nice and clean, and we can start reassembling the switch. Well, unfortunately I'm going to have to say arrivederci to this project. We've got a game ender. This volume control is probably good. It's the switch that is just all messed up. I cannot get it to work the way it should, and unfortunately I don't think I have anything in my stocks that would even be the equivalent to this. It has to have that sort of shaft. Let's see, by the looks of it, it's a 1 meg pot. Would need a double pole, double throw switch. It just doesn't work, unfortunately, the way it's supposed to. And I can't figure it out. I'm not going to spend the rest of my time. I've got other things to worry about. I was diagnosed by my doctor that I have diabetes. So, fortunately, I don't have to take the shots yet, if I don't have to. But I've got more aggravations than trying to figure out how a damn switch is supposed to work. It works almost the opposite the way it's supposed to. So, unfortunately, what great hopes we had in doing the Voxson Dinghy are now dashed. So, this is going back into the radio. I will ask my European fans if they happen to have one of these. The manufacturer is LESA, L-A-L-E-S-A, Lima Echo Sierra Alpha. It's a 1 meg pot, and if I'm reading this correctly, the part number would be 01, or so I'm sorry, B as in Bravo 0120 108. And it would also have to be a double pole, double throw switch, so I can do the A and the B. And it has to have this type of shaft on it. Now I probably can go through my stash. I don't know if I've really got one that's like this though. And have this kind of shaft. I may have to fabricate it, but at this point, for me, it's not worth going through the aggravation. I've got other projects I really want to do, and, well, call me a wuss, but unless I'd really prefer to use an original part. And because there's not one around, I'm going to have to put the Voxson Dinghy away until another time.